Chairman of the Local Adaptation Advisory Panel, which advises government, DEFRA and local authorities on adaptation. And it's formed with 20 local authorities across England, a number of government departments, non-governmental organisations, the Local Government Association, to help shape our national adaptation programme, which ultimately leads to local adaptation and delivery on the ground. This won't be an old slide to any of you, but I think it's always worth showing because it is so compelling. I mean, if we're somewhere here, we know whatever happens, we're on track for that. There are a lot of people who we need to help understand why we need to take action.
In Carmen, which is a city in our catchment, we create a green-blue corridor. We only do this ecological improvement, but we combine it with disconnection of private property, water disconnection.
Das Gewässer hat einen meandrierenden Lauf erhalten und wir haben den Gewässerlauf für die Bevölkerung geöffnet.
So the water now had room to meander, and at the same time we also opened access to the public.
Focus was on heat because in the Netherlands we always had the focus on water but not really on heat. So we thought, oh, maybe it's a good idea to find out how vulnerable our city and city region is to heat. So we started the process of finding out what would be the effect of heat on the health of people, and specifically more the vulnerable groups in our society, like elderly people.
In the future, we want to optimize our sludge system. We want to combine heating and micro generation in a better way, and we want to use wind power station at our facilities. And this is the main thing, we want to use the solar sludge drying system.
The challenge in the UK, as Jeremy has already mentioned in his opening speech, is that many of the houses that exist now will exist in 2066 and much beyond that. And we've got a target in the UK, and I think it's common across Europe, to reduce our carbon emissions by 80% by 2050. And many of the homes that exist will still exist then, and somehow we've got to make our existing properties and existing homes fit for purpose, both in terms of energy efficiency and climate resilience. So we took a typical Victorian terrace. You've probably seen them on your movements around Hastings. It used to be a bed and breakfast. It's in a conservation area. We've got lots of those in Hastings and lots of those in the UK, which makes it harder to do work in some instances. And the only occupants when the builders went in were pigeons. So there was lots of problems with trying to get rid of pigeons having lived in the property for many years. And what the idea was to convert it into 4 self-contained flats to meet the highest energy efficiency standards whilst making them sort of climate resilient.
The biggest project in Future Cities of that is the reconstruction of the Korrelmarkt. We asked the residents in the participation process if they wanted to have more green in front of their houses, and of course they said yes.
So the measure is to implement geothermal energy in order to cover the needs in heating and hot water for the inhabitants of Lucéline Future District, and maybe.
But we want to redevelop an urban city. We want to build on the dike, so we choose for the concept of a climate dike.
But here in Future Cities we really focus on the blue, the green and the energy. We developed ambitions taking into account the 3 principles: people, planet, prosperity, but adding a 4th one about the process.